Yo, what's going on, and welcome back to some Duel Links. And today we are taking a look at another deck that comes from the new box Judgment Force, and that is Lunalights. Now, Lunalights I didn't really know how to build, so I didn't show me trying to figure it out. Instead, I kind of looked at what other people were doing and took examples from them to build something that's close to what they had, but not exactly what they had. So we can see up here, first of all, our main monster is Lunalight Cat Dancer. Now, Cat Dancer is pretty much the way you're going to win most of your games, and the goal of this version of the deck is to just win in one turn. Don't give your opponent a chance to do anything. On the first turn that you can attack, you should be trying to win. So what Cat Dancer, first of all, does is it can't be destroyed by battle. Then you contribute one of your Lunalight monsters, and then for the rest of this turn, Cat Dancer can attack all of your opponent's monsters twice, and the first time it attacks your opponent's monster, they aren't destroyed by battle. Also, whenever this card does declare an attack, you just deal 100 damage to your opponent. So what ends up happening is you have a 2400 attack monster that is, if your opponent has a full field, you're attacking 6 times and you're killing every single monster on the field. Now that's not that impressive because you're only doing 600 damage to them, right? All their monsters are in defense position, 600 damage doesn't matter. But let's say one of their monsters is in attack position. This is where it starts to get interesting because we have another very core card, Lunalight Crimson Fox, which when this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and change its attack to 0 until the end of the turn. Now, when you fusion your Lunalight monsters, you're sending them to the grave by a card effect. So, if you use Crimson Fox for the fusion summon of Cat Dancer just requires 2 Lunalight monsters, then you end up changing one of their monsters to 0 attack, and you get to attack that monster twice. If it has 0 attack, you're dealing 2400 the first attack plus 100 for attacking, and then the second attack, since it can't be destroyed by battle, you're hitting it again for 2400 plus 100. That's 5000 damage just on one monster. Now, if they have other monsters, you can get even more damage out of this. And there's also ways to boost Cat Dancer's attack. Now, one of our ways to boost Cat Dancer's attack is Lunalight Purple Butterfly. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and then target one Lunalight monster and increase its attack by 1000. So this could get Cat Dancer to 3400, meaning if you're already half the way to lethal, like say they have 3000 health left, you can finish them off with Crimson Fox and just fusioning into Cat Dancer and then using Butterfly. Now we have another way to boost our attack, which is Saber Dancer. Saber Dancer is our other fusion monster. It requires 3 Lunalights and it's going to gain 200 attack for each Beast Warrior that is banished during the graveyard. All of our monsters here are Beast Warriors except for Keeper of Dragon Magic, but this also includes our opponent's monsters. So if they're playing any deck that has Beast Warriors, we're getting 200 attack for each of them. So this card can easily become massive. Also, it can't be targeted by card effects. And if it was sent to the graveyard, then the next turn, so you can't do it the turn it was sent to the graveyard, but the turn afterwards, you can banish it from the graveyard and increase one fusion monster by 3000 attack. So Cat Dancer is a fusion monster, so it can increase its attack now to 5400, which is easily going to kill most people, especially if you can hit them to 0 attack. Now, how do we actually get our fusion summon off? Our deck is built to accomplish this pretty easily. Lunalight Fusion works in an interesting way where we can fusion summon a Lunalight monster from our extra deck using cards from our hand or the field, just like a normal fusion, like a Polymerization. But if our opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, we can use one Lunalight monster from our deck or our extra deck. So this is a good way to send, say, Saber Dancer to the graveyard without having to fusion summon it. But it's also a good way to pick a Lunalight that we need from our deck. Say we don't have Crimson Fox. In our hand or on the field, we can use one from our deck, but only if our opponent has special summoned from the extra deck and has that monster still on the field. So, how are we making this more consistent? Well, we have Lunalight Yellow Marten, which if we can remove this card from our hand to the graveyard by a card effect, then we can search for our Lunalight Fusion. Pretty simple. Also, if it's in the graveyard, it can return one of our Lunalights back to the hand to special summon itself back onto the field again. But the main effect that we're going to be making use of is getting another Lunalight Fusion. Now, our other way to get Lunalight Fusion is Keeper of Dragon Magic. When we summon him, we can discard one card and add a Polymerization or Fusion spell. Lunalight Fusion is a fusion spell. Now, the discard of Keeper of Dragon Magic does not proc the Lunalight's effects. So if you discard your Yellow Marten, you're not going to get to search 2. If you discard your Crimson Fox, you're not going to get to reduce something to 0 attack. You want to make sure you're discarding something that's not important to you winning that turn with Keeper of Dragon Magic. So he's just here to help us get our fusion. So essentially, if you look at our hand, we're playing, or if you look at our deck, we're playing 8 Lunalight Fusions, essentially, because we have 3 Yellow Martens, 2 Keeper of Dragon Magic, and 3 Lunalight Fusions. Now, we also have Bird over here, Emerald Bird, which when this is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, we get to special summon a Lunalight from our graveyard or the banish pile. This allows us to make sure we can proc Lunalight Cat Dancer, because Cat Dancer needs to tribute a Lunalight monster, so if we can use both Bird and Crimson Fox, then we get to change something to 0 attack, special summon something onto the field with Emerald Bird, and then we tribute that thing, and then Cat Dancer goes off on them and one-shots them. Now our other cards here, we're looking at Dark World Dealings, which we get to draw a card and then discard a card. Our opponent also gets to do this, but we benefit from this because this discard does trigger the effect of our Lunalights. So if we have a Yellow Marten in our hand but no Lunalight Fusion, we can activate Dark World Dealings, discard Yellow Marten, and then we can make sure we have a Lunalight Fusion. Our other 3 cards here are just to remove back row. We have 2 Cosmic Cyclones, get rid of their back row. We have Hey Trunade, get rid of all of their back row in one play. And the goal of this deck is just to win and win fast, surprise your opponent. They can't react to it. Crimson Fox's other effect, if while it's in the graveyard, if one of your Lunalights is targeted, you can banish it from your graveyard and negate the activation. And then after you do that, each person gains 1,000 life points. Sometimes them gaining 1,000 life points can be bad for you, but it can also be good for you, depending on the board state. But the negate is always going to be very valuable. So if you can get Crimson Fox into the graveyard and do our basic combo, then you're also going to have the ability to stop them from trying to crush your Cat Dancer or your Saber Dancer or whatever you're using. So we're going to go ahead and get into this version of the deck. We're running Grit because this deck has no defensive options. We got nothing if we don't kill them. So we're running Grit because we can't die. If we would lose all 4,000 of our life points in one turn, we instead survive with 1 HP from the attack that would bring us to 0. So unless they have an extra attack that can bring it even further, then we live the turn and then we have a chance to win. So let's go ahead and get into it. The season is reset now, so we're back at Gold 1, I guess. It drops you all the way from Platinum 1 to Gold 1. So I guess we'll start back down here. Before we get back to our Rookie to Cog grind, we will grind up a little bit by trying some of the new decks. Now there is some interesting other ideas with this deck, so I think I'm going to show off different versions of this deck. The other version also includes Neos, so that one the Neos is kind of like your defensive option, because Neos is hard to remove from the field in one turn. It generally takes you multiple turns to get a Neos off the field, Elemental Hero Brave Neos, because Neos Fusion protects him. Plus the Neos Fusion works well with the Lunalight cards. I have no idea what's happening. I have never seen a scrap deck in my entire life before, and I don't know what these cards do. I am afraid. What happened? Do you get to summon that now? I hope that he synchro summons this turn. He's not synchro summoning. Well, that's a disappointment. But doesn't matter, we have OTK in our hand. Now the problem is we'd really like to draw a Cosmic Cyclone here. We're gonna first drop Yellow Marten, because that'll let us search for another Lunalight, and we're gonna activate our second Dark World Dealings, because we really want a Cosmic Cyclone. If we can get rid of that back card, then we win guaranteed. If we can't, then we might have some problems. I don't know what he's thinking about. Oh, I guess he needs to discard a card too. And he's not a fan of discarding a card, I guess, in his deck. Because his are only if they're destroyed, right? One special summon, if this card is destroyed by a card effect, yeah, so his has to be destroyed. Hopefully he's not scooping on the first duel. Come on, man. So if he doesn't have a protective backline card, alright, well, I mean, we could look at his deck and try and guess what his backline was. He might have been bluffing, but we'll go ahead and check real quick. If he didn't have a card that could protect him, then he was going to lose that turn for sure. So let's go ahead and look at his deck real quick. He had no protective cards. Oh, he did have Sphere Karibo. If he happened to have Sphere Karibo in his hand, that would have protected him. Otherwise, we won that duel. And that turn as well. He had no chance. Maybe he knew that. I don't know why he left. I don't know if he's run into any Lunalights. They're kind of new, so a lot of people don't know what they're going to do. Now we do have an Ishizu here, which is probably playing Sealed Tombs. Sealed Tombs is getting a nerf. So a lot of times with the nerf coming, I like to prepare by playing the skills how they're intended to be played now. So like Sealed Tombs, you can only activate after you take 1,000 damage now, and you can only activate it once per duel. So if you can follow those rules, that would be better practice for the future. This guy doesn't have a backline card. Do we want to just... I think we drop our Cosmic Cyclone here. That'll let us summon Lunalight, or get our Lunalight Fusion. And then we'll activate Lunalight Fusion. And we're gonna go for Saber Dancer here. Saber Dancer is going to get very big. Now, when you're looking at this, it's very important to use these in the correct order, because the order you put them in is the order in the chain link they'll be in. So I'll kind of demonstrate here. We'll go ahead and put Crimson Fox in first. Now, Crimson Fox isn't going to have a target. Then we're going to go ahead and put Yellow Marten, and then we're going to put Bird. So Bird will be the last one in the chain link. Crimson Fox, I don't think will go off because it won't have one. Yeah, so Yellow Marten's going to be first. And we obviously want both of these effects. So you can see here, Yellow Marten's Chainlink 1, Bird is Chainlink 2. And we are going to summon... Should we just summon Crimson Fox? We might as well... Yeah, we should summon Crimson Fox. I'm going to show you why in just a second here. Because if we summon Crimson Fox, then we can use Yellow Marten's effect to bring Crimson Fox back to our hand, so we can use it next turn in another summon, and now we have Yellow Marten on the field. Now we could go Cat Dancer right here, but we can only use one Lunalight fusion per turn. So this is a Cat Dancer for next turn. So what we're looking for here is hopefully this guy will get over. That's a Gravekeeper Spy, huh? Oh, that's annoying. I should have just attacked with the other one, but he would have probably summoned something that was bigger than Keeper of Dragon Magic anyways, because Gravekeeper Spy can summon another Gravekeeper Spy. Yeah, both of these are too big. I think we want to get rid of this one, just because it can remove our cards. So for now, we unfortunately can't win right away. Now the only place where this deck can't OTK was like an example like that, where we didn't have a way to get his monster off the field and it was in defense position. A lot of people in this game feel pretty safe, and he's going to realize right here he can't actually target Saber Dancer. So he went for Yellow Marten instead. Oh jeez. So Yellow Marten, after it uses its effect to return something back to the hand, it gets banished when it gets destroyed. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But we have OTK right here. We don't even need to get rid of... Actually, we need to make sure we don't get rid of our Saber Dancer, because we're going to sacrifice Saber Dancer to make sure we get the kill here. So we're going to go ahead and summon Cat Dancer. We're going to use Crimson Fox, and we're going to use Yellow Marten. That'll allow us to summon Cat Dancer. We'll activate Crimson Fox's ability, and we'll use it on him. And then we'll activate Yellow Marten's ability. Get us another Lunalight fusion. And now we're going to activate Cat Dancer's ability. And we're going to tribute the Saber Dancer, and now we get to kill him. Cat Dancer hits, monster doesn't die. Second attack, Cat Dancer hits, monster dies, lethal. Easy stuff. So that's what we're trying to do on anyone who just puts a monster into attack position first turn. Gravekeepers like to put their face downs first turn, so we got a little bit unlucky to run into a Gravekeeper like that. But if he had set a monster first turn face up attack position, we just summon Cat Dancer and we just win. It's very difficult for decks to deal with this that don't have strong backline, and a lot of decks nowadays don't have fantastic backline. You got like your staple cards like Treacherous Trap Hole and stuff, but since you could just summon Saber Dancer instead and it can't be targeted, a lot of those cards don't work great against Lunalights. So if I summon Saber Dancer, the only thing he can do to me is use Wall of Disruption to lower my attack. Now, when we're looking at this hand, this is not the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So I think we just set Yellow Marten. Actually, we could just play nothing because we have Grit. Is that stupid? Yes. We're just going to play nothing. So this is where our skill is going to come into play. Assuming he can OTK me, he's probably not going to be able to. He's Morphtronics as Luna? Oh, come on, you're going to set a face down card. You're not even going to make me use my Grit? That's unfortunate. So what can we do then? There's no point to Cat Dancer, really. So we should probably go Saber Dancer. So I guess let's go for Saber Dancer. I don't know what this card does. Each time a monster's battle position is changed, and whatever, who cares? We don't need to read. No one reads in Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're gonna do the same thing as last time. Crimson Fox, Bird, Yellow Marten. Now the reason the chain link orders matter is, say he had a Dark Cavalry on the field, and we were trying to make Dark Cavalry's attack go to 0. Well, then we would put Crimson Fox as Chainlink 1, and we would put Emerald Bird as Chainlink 2, because then Cavalry would be targeted by Crimson Fox, but it wouldn't be able to negate the target because it's being chain blocked by Emerald Bird. Emerald Bird is blocking it from being able to negate. Do we want to summon here? I think we keep Emerald Bird in hand. I think we activate Yellow Marten again. Same play as last time. That way we have a Cat Dancer in our hand, and Saber Dancer can do a little bit of damage to this guy. Now next turn should be lethal, assuming he can't deal with our Saber Dancer, which is pretty hard to deal with Saber Dancer. What does this card do? He's getting rid of my Yellow Marten? Everyone just hates the Yellow Marten. But if you get rid of the Yellow Marten, you just increase the power of Saber Dancer. What? He's in Gear Town now? What is happening? Alright, what are we doing here then? So our hand's not very good. Or at least not for... We don't have a way to get rid of this card, essentially. So, now would be a really good time to have the other Lunalight card we're not using, which is White Rabbit, because it would allow us to put that card back in his hand. I'm thinking we just summon Yellow Marten in attack mode. That means we still have Cat Dancer in our hand, like a lethal next turn with Cat Dancer, and we have lethal on the field, assuming this is a Wall of Disruption, which it probably is. Is it not? It's not a Wall of Disruption? Raigeki break. Alright. No, definitely don't continue that attack. Alright, well that's unfortunate, I would suggest. So, can he win? I don't think he can win. What on earth was that? I don't know what the idea was there. We're just gonna style on this guy real quick, summon the Cat Dancer. Because there's... Oh, dang it. Alright, that was mean. There's no reason to summon Cat Dancer. Obviously, he just Alt F4'd his game. Threw his phone out the window. That's a back to Fortnite situation right there. Yeah, connection failed. Sure it did. Sure it did. His phone is just smashed up against the wall is the real problem. But you can see the power of this deck, because we don't have to go Cat Dancer. Cat Dancer is also indestructible to battle, while Saber Dancer is untargetable. And Saber Dancer is huge, so even that guy who's got, like, his strength is, he summons Ancient, or whatever, Reactor Dragon, I forget what they're called. Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon, something like that. Massive monster, known for piercing your defense, being unaffected by card effects while it's attacking. Usually can attack over most people in attack mode. There's a Saber Dancer sitting in front of him with more attack than him, and it can't be targeted by anything. Like, what do? You just lose. But now we have an interesting dilemma here. We just set Cosmic Cyclone. That was a bad play, I think. I think we shouldn't have set Cosmic Cyclone. Because now if he gets us below 1,000 health, then we can't activate it. But if he Synchro Summons here... Does the Synchro Summon kill us? If he summons the new Blue Eyes, we're gonna have an issue. Because it's going to give us access to... Alright, so he gets rid of our Cosmic Cyclone. We just shouldn't have set Cosmic Cyclone, probably. I don't think it made any sense to do. Now, the problem with the new Blue Eyes is it's going to negate an effect from the graveyard. And he's almost for sure going to summon it. But if we can get him to negate the wrong effect, then we might be able to do it. Now, how are we going to get him to negate the wrong effect? I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. Obviously, I'm thinking that the effect we want him to negate is probably Yellow Martin's search effect. So if we chainlink one Yellow Martin, he might immediately negate. He didn't summon it. Are you insane? Why didn't you summon it? Alright, we need something big here then. Bird is not enough, I don't think. So how do we do this? He doesn't have the negate, but if we summon Cat Dancer, it can't get over Spirit of White. It's a tough one. Is there any way that we can save? If we summon Purple Butterfly, yeah, that's what we gotta do. So we Keeper of Dragon Magic, activate his effect. We put Purple Butterfly into the graveyard. Now we go Lunalight Fusion. Then we go ahead. Activate. What is your effect in the graveyard? I can't remember. You can banish this card, special summon one Lunalight from your hand. Okay, we don't want that. So we go ahead, activate Lunalight Fusion now. And we're going to summon Cat Dancer. We're going to use Yellow Martin and Bird. Now, when Bird summons a monster from the graveyard, its effects are negated. But what we can do here is summon Butterfly onto the field, and we can replace it with Yellow Martin. And Yellow Martin will then send Butterfly to our hand. Butterfly can use its effect from the hand. So we're gonna go ahead, activate Yellow Martin, send Butterfly back to the hand. When do we have to activate this? So we'll go ahead, activate this effect to tribute Yellow Martin, and then we will activate Purple Butterfly on Cat Dancer, giving us 1,000 more attack. And now we go battle phase. We hit this guy. Boom, doesn't die. Hit him again, and he loses the duel. Now we could have attacked all of his monsters right there. He was going to lose no matter what. He was going to lose every single monster, because we had a 3,400 attack indestructible monster. And that's pretty much what we're dealing with here. We're gonna do one more, but like, this deck is crazy. I wasn't expecting this one to be like the powerhouse in the box, but I think it might be. It's also funny because if you look at the deck, it doesn't have any ultra rares. Like, we're using some ultra rares in it that we have inserted into the formula, but it doesn't have an ultra rare card. There's no ultra rare Lunalights. You got the super rare Saber Dancer and you got super rare Yellow Martin, and that's it. So it's pretty easy to build. Like, we went through the box twice. If you can get through the box 1.5 times, you have this deck. Alright, what are we looking at? This is not a good hand at the moment. We need a Yellow Martin. He's searching for a Neos Fusion with his Golden Sarcophagus in his 30-card Neos deck. What on earth? So our draw here is going to be very important. We need our fusion card. That's not our fusion card. So we lead off with Dark World Dealings. Oh no. We drew 3 birds. How could this happen? I'm not sure what we're supposed to do about this now. Send 1 Lunalight from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw a card. So why don't we start by sending Crimson Fox. And this will allow us to put his Neos to 0 attack. Now it's not quite over yet, because we can send other Lunalight. We can send the bird as well with bird. So now we go bird, and we activate bird's effect. Oh, we got Hatronid. So we'll go ahead and activate bird. I don't know if he's scooping. Honestly, our hands, it's just not coming together for us. If he surrenders, good for us, because I don't think we're going to win this one. Okay, he did not surrender. Okay, he did. Never mind. Connection failed. I'm pretty sure we were going to lose that one. We were going to be able to do damage to him over the Neos, but he had, I guess he surrendered or left or threw his phone at the wall because he had no idea that we didn't have a fusion card in our hand. Keep in mind, remember when I said we play 8 of them and we didn't draw a single one? We needed Keeper of Dragon Magic or Lunalight Fusion or Yellow Martin. We didn't get any of those. Now it is important to know Bird's first effect can be really strong and gave us another chance at possibly getting a fusion card there. When we opened up with 5 cards, drew 2 more, so we had 7 cards. We went through 7 of our 20 cards and didn't see a single one of these 3 cards that would have given us our fusion card. So that's just unlucky at that point. Now, what would have happened that turn is Crimson Fox would have summoned in defense mode because Bird doesn't summon in attack mode. And unfortunately, we would only be able to attack over the Neos once. With Bird, he would negate the destruction with Neos Fusion. Brave Neos would survive. It would get all of its attack back next turn. And then I don't know where it would go from there. We'd still have a chance. It would be pretty heavily dependent on what we hit with Cosmic Cyclone, and if he could summon another Brave Neos that turn. I don't think he could, which is why he Golden Sarcophagus his second, because you can only have 2 Neos Fusion in your deck. He used 1, and the other one was banished till the standby phase after the next one. So we were pretty sure he couldn't summon another Brave Neos, but he could have summoned something else. If he could get past all of our defense position Crimson Fox, then we might have been in trouble. So that one was going to be really hard to win. We were pretty much relying on top decking to win there. But we got the win because he went ahead and left. Now, we are going to be back next time with this deck again because I want to show off the Neos version of the deck. And there's also a really funny version of this deck. I'm not sure, it'll probably be similar to this, like it'll look the same, but we're going to be using Zane's skill Fatal 5. Now, if you don't know what Fatal 5 does, if one monster attacks 5 times in a single turn, you win the duel. Enough said. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time.